You guys have to understand, Future is walking on the streets that Jay-Z already bought and owned, and he's renting out, and he's getting rent from these streets plus tax every single day, every single week. And Future is walking on this street paying tax just to be on it. You're trying to tell me that this guy's better than Hov?
And that's...
You are now tuned in to Straight Facts, where you won't hear our imagination, we state facts. Presented by Currency, Supreme Entertainment. Like, share, comment, follow.
Back at it again, Straight Facts. Next topic. What are your thoughts, gentlemen, about Future saying that he's bigger than Jay-Z in the streets right now?
I would say that he's right. But then again, Future's never kind of seen... But then, how old is Future?
Future's at least 40.
In his 30s, pushing on 40s. Yeah. So maybe he kind of can talk about Jay-Z and how his wave was going on back in the 90s and the late 80s. But me looking at being a part of the newer generation, Future's really hot in the streets. But like, I would think that he's hotter because he just probably gets more bitches. But I don't know, man. Like, what are Jay-Z's credentials? He ended up getting Beyonce, so...
VP, you seem like you have a reaction. You want to jump on this?
Are we talking about girls in that question, or?
I'm more looking at, like, when you talk about who's hotter in the streets, like who can pull, like who can sell out in the streets, who's got more pull in the streets. Okay. I don't know.
At this moment, Future.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. He's saying, at this moment, I'm hotter than Jay-Z in the streets. Jay-Z's in the corporate world right now.
He doesn't give a shit about that Jay-Z
So what are we comparing it to then?
Yeah. No, I agree with your point in the sense of, is he hotter right now in the streets? Definitely. But what I'm trying to say is that Future, where he said he thinks he can catch up to a Billy, he can catch up to Jay-Z's numbers, it's possible. Because like you said, today's era is about digital sales. Now you got NFTs into the mix, you got cryptos into the mix. So it's possible based on what he decides to do. Do I think that he represents a new generation? Definitely. Do I think he's better than Jay-Z? Overall, no. But I'm talking about currently for the young generation, who are they going to listen to more? They're going to listen to Future. Because perfect example, I don't know if you guys follow on Instagram, Hoodville. Future, a big buzz on that IG page. But at the end of the day, everyone's entertaining what Future be doing. He be talking about how men should interact with women. That's another subject. But it's a cultural influence for the young generation. Because a lot of these youngins, they look to Future as their father. Jay-Z's like their grandpa. For me, we grew up listening to Jay-Z. So,
but you see, even to add to that, I don't even mean to sway the wave. But looking at what's kind of hot right now, where you're getting guys like Future teaching the youngins how to deal with women, and they're seeing that lack, that a lot of young men don't really know how to deal with women, and there's a market there now. I don't know, just kind of wanted to throw that out there.
Could you replay that last thing you just said?
Just looking at the market that's being opened, where men now are being taught how to speak to women or how to deal with women. Yeah.
Like who?
There's a market there. Have you not noticed? I've noticed a market where like men are being red-pilled. There's like a market now where men are being red-pilled, and even rappers now you're seeing Future, she belongs to the streets. Like that became a slang in a whole saying in the streets. I guarantee it. But it's for men to distinguish like what they need in their lives and what they don't need. But it's unfortunate, I'll say, that men are having issues with females like that. But go ahead.
I guess this is just where the education comes in. I guess back in the 90s, I don't know if you've ever heard of an artist by the name of Too Short. Too Short
was a pimp.
Oakland.
You know what I mean?
The Bay Area.
His hand stayed strong, you know what I mean? He'd always tell you how he would deal with women long before Future did in a lot more direct ways. On top of that, when it comes to Jay-Z and saying his greatest accomplishment, I think you said was getting Beyonce, right?
I didn't say that. It kept him hot.
Run the tape back and you'll hear him
He
say
made
that.
Beyonce. I've said this before.
All I gotta say is, hold on. Jay-Z has over 125 million records sold. Jay-Z has won over 23 Grammys. Jay-Z that's the most by a rapper, by the way. He holds the most records by number one solo albums by an artist on the Billboard 200.
Like,
I just don't understand the question. Like Future, obviously now Jay-Z's not as relevant.
well, the question was, is Jay-Z, Future says he's better than Jay-Z. And
He's
and
bigger.
Is he
bigger
really?
than Jay-Z in the
No, he's
streets.
not.
In the streets.
Because look at
I mean,
Beyonce.
I'm talking overall.
Yeah.
And
you guys have to understand, Future is walking on the streets that Jay-Z already bought and owned, and he's renting out, and he's getting rent from these streets plus tax every single day, every single week. And Future is walking on this street paying tax just to be on it. You're trying to tell me that this guy's better than Hov?
And that answers the question right
I'm just
there.
saying, you're
like,
telling me this guy's better than Hov? What are your thoughts on artists not getting paid by their labels?
It just takes me back to a time where like they said, like one quote that I saw from Tyrese was like they were all in their 20s and they just signed deals because they're trying to get out the hood, right? So they didn't know any better, right?
Yeah.
And it reminds me to a time where, like, a perfect example, Master P. Back in the day, Jimmy Iovine offered him $1 million and he said no. And he said, yo, you want to go talk to the Michael Jackson lawyer? And the Michael Jackson lawyer told him he got to pay $25K to talk to him. He found a way to get that money, and then he told him how you're supposed to work to get to Michael Jackson deal. At the end of the day, it's like, you have to do the groundwork. Unfortunately, like, as an artist, when you're young, you think that when you get an advancement from a label, they give you a 7-year record deal that, you know, you're going to get money. You definitely will, but they're not seeing the value of their name because they're unknown. And as they get older, they get pimped out. So it is unfortunate that it happens in the rap game, but that's why I say read the fine print.
Exactly what you just said. That's it. Most of these kids, like, they see that as an opportunity to get out, and they sign right away without even checking what they're signing. And they end up owing that money in the end too. So, but they sign away their masters. They sign pretty much whatever the brand is. That's why I never myself wanted to be a record label to Dreamland. That is mostly a production company. So I never understood or was attracted to sign to a label anyways too. And like you said, everything you just said, it's perfectly exactly what's happening. And they've been fucked up the ass since day one, and unfortunately you have to be independent nowadays, and as long as you can, pretty much, unless you start your own record label like Master P did.
Yeah, man. So to add to that, I would want to know, like, who is to blame. Again, like, the opportunity that the artist gets to sign is something that's life-changing. For sure. Yeah. Looking at your point, Zoe, in what you say, $20,000 to put towards marketing, they do get that advance. But they get a somewhat of a good advance to start, to jump off. Yeah. Are they being misled, like, purposely, or are they being suggested, hey, put some of this money in marketing and we'll see where you are in a year. Put some of this money in advertising and we'll see where you are in a year. You may make more. There may be a bigger advance. You may pay that off times 10, you know? But it's really on how they're being directed.
Directed and leaded and guided,
Yeah, because we can give 1 million of these deals out, but if we, like, in telling these people that do sign where to invest, do that. It's nothing. And you can still buy a chain.
And you see a lot the same thing happening with basketball players too, like being misled and not taking their finance seriously or managing their money seriously.
When it's like a pinch. Yeah. But take that.
I don't think it's so much being misled. It's just the game and how it's to be played. And the way the game is to be played is you get the contract, you're given the enticement of the money. You know, you have $20, you get negative $100 in your account. So someone's trying to offer you 6 figures, you know, and then obviously you're gonna take that, not really being able to look at the bigger picture, because you got to look at a guy like Young Dolph, right? He was a guy who all of a sudden was independent, and he made a fortune for himself, and unfortunately, you know, wasn't able to really see that whole thing through. But he's someone who you're able to see was able to do a whole lot in this time right now, being independent without having to depend on a label. So I think he recently turned down $22 million or something like that was the last number he spoke about that he turned down for a record label trying to sign him on. So when you hear that, you know, it's the, you know, one of the 70 deadly sins. You know, people always know that it's human nature, that, you know, a lot of these rap artists or a lot of these athletes, the best way to catch them in a trap is money, women, or the lifestyle, which is usually all three wrapped up into one, and it always ends up leading to them at the end of the day being broke, in trouble with the law, and in worse situations than they were when they began. I think.
A question to add to your point: do you think it's a problem of like financial literacy, like not understanding how to manage your money?
It's all part of the game, because that's why they don't teach black people from a young age about money. You know what I mean? And about, that's why they teach us about, Benzes. They teach us about Armani. They teach us about True Religion. They teach us about Mike and Mary, Billie Jean, Billie Jean.
But the world is allowed to give us what it wants to give us. Like we haven't. Personally, I will tell you, I have no right to judge how the world presents itself to me, but I'll look at how I react to that. So the world's going to distract everyone. That's just how it goes. There's a market, there's money. Make money.
So you're supposed to control your own destiny and be able to understand your limitations. That's what you're trying to say then.
Yeah. I guess knowing yourself.
It's Straight Facts, we back. So, question. Is Cardi B the most impactful female in the game today?
Obviously. You know what she did in a short frame time? She made Nicki Minaj retire.
Yeah.
You feel me? Nicki Minaj said, "Dad, it's a young girl's game. I gotta go have a family, make a baby.
Retire?
Because it's done." Like at the end of the day, she surpassed her in like a 4-year span. That's crazy.
But she kept it relevant though.
Definitely, but that's the thing. The thing is, within 4 years,
is good, right?
She disrespected what Nicki Minaj's record did. And Nicki Minaj, who did she surpass? Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
So already, right there, in a short amount of time, you see the culture game has changed, right?
Yep.
Digital sales is definitely helping it, because now, before, as an artist, you'd have to drop a couple of albums within like a 7-year span and then see how it works. But within 4 years, the girl's already caught up to, at one point, was the queen of hip-hop, which is Nicki Minaj. So I definitely think that she has surpassed it. I know someone who's tagging along, which is Megan Stallion, but she has a long way to come, because right now, Cardi B is killing it. So that's my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I find it very interesting. I personally don't like her voice, like I said, in the behind the scenes. I find it super annoying, but I can't deny, like, she's on top right now, yes. Yeah, she is. Does she write her own lyrics, everything? Yeah.
I think so.
I think she does, no, 100%.
Yeah?
She maybe get help with cadence and flows, but...
Yeah, if she does, then kudos to her, because that's a big step up.
But hold on, does Drake write his own lyrics?
No, he doesn't.
So then why are we out here claiming
So it doesn't,
That's
you're
what
right.
I'm saying. If you're gonna give somebody that same type of great title, we should give her the same type of respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And she's on top of the game, and she's doing collabos with other genres of artists too.
She's very, very radio friendly.
Maroon Guy.
What about? I'm just gonna throw a name. What about Young M.A.?
Young M.A. is good. I love her like a lot. I think she has potential. She's very street though, very gutter like. And don't forget, like Nicki and Cardi, they've been molded, right?
They had a dream team behind them.
Yeah, they have a team. Like they've been like carved out. They don't look like that.
Right.
They're not coming out on the scene like that. Nicki Minaj was not that when she was rapping in New York. And then when she joined Cash Money, like they made a doll out of her. And obviously that I prefer the rapping Nicki Minaj, but you're right, she's on top, but they're so crafted now, like they're so molded. I don't know if they deserve all the credit.
Yeah.
It must be the team behind them.
Definitely.
Same thing for Drake.
Okay.
He wouldn't be on top without his genius team.
Without the machine.
The machine behind him. Like, come on, they back then you would make your career by yourself, but now it's all about who's pushing you behind you.
Who's pushing what?
And to who you sell your soul to as well. But
at that point, right? And what about you, Jared? What about you?
Looking at Cardi B, she just recently got awarded her 3rd diamond record.
Yeah.
So again, it being her own record, I like it with featuring Bad Bunny and J Balvin. So, and looking at even she has a single, Bodak Yellow, which is just her. It went diamond.
Yeah.
That's unheard
and that's my
of.
favorite song of hers too.
That's almost unheard of in female, but like not to.
Would
no
she
feature.
still have that?
No
those,
feature and
Would she still have those numbers in the 90s, for example?
That's the question. No, he's asking.
Quality of the
asking.
song though. The song was it hit.
And I love the beat. Like
that's the formula.
In the 90s, would it hit though? That's the question.
Because
the formula like that, like. But then again, you're talking 2 different styles.
Was the 90s ratings for female rappers? That's the question.
Sure, MC Light.
To bring them to the level that they're at right now.
Little Kim,
Foxy Brown.
Okay, but to bring them at the level they hit
what's her name? Queen Pen.
Queen Pen.
You forget about this.
But think about
Lauryn Hill is my favorite
how
female
far
rapper.
It's came now. Female rappers, how far has it come?
You even had Queen Latifah. Man.
It's beautiful.
Forget that.
But like I said, they have to turn them into dolls, which I find it sad though. And Young M.A. is not that case though.
Young M.A. is not that case, not that case. It's a rap, straight facts. We out.